And we're live on the twitch.tv/the Xisuma, popping into the world with a splat sound. That's what it makes when you log in, isn't it? We got bananas in chat from the Thinky, Becca, Cloud Zero, and Forgil. Thank you so much for the bananas. Lets me know that I'm actually live. God, how would I know unless there were bananas, right? Let's continue with what we were doing yesterday. And we got our first noise in the air. It's Freak Burrito for 43 months. Thank you ever so much, my dude. Appreciate your support. We also had 2 new Patreons sign up. Zetro and Zagrid. Thank you for signing up. I hope you enjoy playing on the Let's Play Minecraft Together server. Tanner Baum 20. Thank you for 9 months. Greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. Start placing some blocks. That's what this game is for, right? If you didn't catch yesterday's stream, we were working on this area. And that's what we're going to continue doing. Funny enough. Funny how that works, isn't it? God, I thought you would have done something totally different. To be fair, I might have done something totally different. Oh, and what about candles? 2 left. Oh dear. Oh dear. Now I do have the ability to make more. But I'm going to run low on string. In fact, now that I think about it, string is not really rare. We have a little farm for that. I think I'm going to put the next candles there. So I need my flint and steel. Lucaro1357, thank you for 40 months. Saying, fun fact, Bane of Arthropods inflicts slowness 4 on affected mods. Does it? That does not sound legit to me. Like, when did they add that? If that's a thing, when on earth did they add that? Untrustful, thank you ever so much for your Prime. And Raven Monster, thank you for 9. Oh my goodness me, it's a Twitch baby. Do you know what that means, people? Do you know what it means? Wait for it. Uh-huh. Aww. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so cute and adorable. Right, let's go light this thing. Let's light it up. And then place blocks around it. Because it's what we do in this game. Yeah, and we got to place some of those along the way. Time for the most disturbing animation in history, says the Thinky. Oh! You gotta be kidding me. Don't say that. That's not on at all. Put that one there, then we'll come down. Uh-huh. So the dark oak sort of thing, I don't know quite where it's going to start and end. Just stepping back and getting a feel for it. Going to need some blocks here to step on, don't we? Also, where this has become deliberately or generally quite dark, I wonder if we can hang... The middle is there. It's actually directly below that. I could possibly put like a chain off the bottom of it. Now that was supposed to be some randomness. Maybe I'll put a log up there somewhere and have it hang down as well. Let's get some chains and lanterns. What's cracking, X? What are you working on today? First live stream I've been able to watch, says OG Gamer. It's our little flower farm. Flower farms? That's not what they are. They're similar to flower farms. We are working on nether, fungus, and roots, and warts, and whatever you want to call them, that farm. It's like, what about having that right there? It really does, actually. I think that's got to be a soul lantern. That takes away too much. Too much. Where are the soul lanterns? Do I have any? Real babies are chubbier, says Chef Cannon. Yeah, real babies are also not Doom guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. Here we go. That's where they are. I don't know why. My chests are all a jumble. Those roots are good for map art. I use the blue one for a nice cyan colour. Oh, right. So that's like one block above the piston, isn't it? Yeah, what I want... Oh, I'm not going to put a root thing on this side. We're going to build this up and then put that in place in just a moment. Although... no, I don't want to place it just yet. Dang it, I wasn't trying to place you there. Yeah, the lighting's kind of tricky. Oh, gosh! Darn it! This thing's right in the way. I kind of need to move all of those things now, right? Where am I going to put the little composter? I think the composter's going to end up maybe somewhere down here. Who knows? I mean, basically, you're gonna pick up the items here, and then you need to walk to the composter. I think the place to put it is probably here. So if we go and put that chest down in this spot, then it should be all right. Cool. Feels like slow pace. Why don't I have a crafting bench here? Slow pace so far. It's always like that. Local Trash, thank you for 8 months of support. Appreciate it. Almost a Twitch baby, not quite. Here we go. Drinking tea or water today, says Miss Sani. I drank water all yesterday and drinking tea today. And water as well. Which is a reminder that I got a hot cup of tea here, which is just wonderful because it would be criminal. Criminal, I say. If that were to go to waste, right? Don't need those on me. Lottie Pickow says, do you know where Mumbo went? What, are you trying to stalk him or something? Gosh. Jeez. Where did Mumbo go? Down to the shops for some to get some milk for some tea. That's a classic British thing. Where did they go? They nipped down to the shops to get some milk for tea. When I was at the shops this morning, I picked up some cream. Single cream. I was looking at the double. I was like, I don't know really which one to go for, but cream is something I don't think I've ever brought before for myself. And I brought it for coffee. I'm gonna have, like, usually the weekend is my days off. I'm rearranging my week a little bit, so I'm having my first workout day today. So today's a normal day for me, except I'm doing a stream at 10 to 12. So after this, I'm going to have a coffee, and I thought, oh, I'll get a bit of cream. I need to try that, coffee with cream. Stu, 2K here for 6 months, saying, morning, finally got around to using my Prime sub again. Wish the Twitch app would let you use it on there. Now, time to sit back and enjoy the day's stream. I think the idea is they don't let you automate it because they want you to actively use it as to not like hand over the free sub month by month, because otherwise you could just sort of leave it on and they'd all get used up. Becca11, thank you for gifting a sub to Manual CL98 for 9 months. Oh, it's a Twitch baby. Oh, goodness me. Can I play 2 of these at once? Apparently I can. This is going to be madness. There's going to be madness on the screen right now. What's going... Oh! Jeez, I don't even know. I don't even know. Gifted subs and sub babies. Crazy. What was I going to say? It's a very common tactic in business to sort of create design products, not in a way to essentially like deliver a result to whoever's using it, but more so to extract maximum like profit. Maximum profit. So this takes place in places like, I don't know, like a Starbucks gift card, right? Seems kind of innocent. Oh, I'll get you a good old Starbucks gift card or whatever. But they'll always be designed in a way where the amounts that you put onto the cards are not in direct relation to the price of the products, thus meaning you will pay more for the gift card, and then the money that doesn't get used sits in the gift card. So let's say we had a shop here, and I was to open up like an Xisuma gift card service, right? Just by what on earth is going on here? I'm getting assaulted. Jeez. Just by making a few sales of gift cards, there would, well, I say a few. Let's scale it up. You know, let's say there's hundreds of sales of gift cards. Not all of those by default would get used. Therefore, you sort of essentially make a profit from the get-go because you know that those things are not going to all get used. Now, let's say all the products in my store cost £4, yet the gift card costs £5. There's £1 left on the gift card that you can't spend. So these are like the tactics of that sort of thing. For lack of a better word, call it a thing. Let's get this right. Stone has to stay. Yeah, okay. It's kind of weird talking about something completely different and trying to focus on placing blocks when they're all in like awkward places. Love the music, says Kirkia69. Yeah, amazing music on today. It's been a while. When are you going to make your not/starter mega base? Says Silk Songs. I will make my not/starter mega base after I finish building my peta/giga/wooga base. Okay. Yeah. Don't you know? Don't you know? Who said I was going to build a mega base? I don't remember saying that. Hey, I'm just taking it one day at a time. Just chill. It'll all happen. It's Hermitcraft. What do you expect? Give us time. We will do all the things. Where it's dark, it really kind of loses its sense of shape, I feel like. Anyway, I kind of want to outline the last of where I'm going to be using these slabby jabs. Which is kind of just around here, and then we'll fill it all in. That's looking alright. Let's get some more. Liger, welcome to the stream, and thank you for gifting a sub to Exoskeleton for 6 months. Appreciate you doing that, my dude. We also got the Red Zone Gamer here subscribing. Vanhar21's here for 52 months. Goodness me, those numbers go high. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it. There we go. Was a kilo base ever in a Hermitcraft episode? Yeah, we should just start giving them random words until they lose all meaning. I think we'll go with that. There you go. Right, so then I want the spruce stuff to kind of align along the back here now. And I guess I've got to figure out where the back wall is. Oh yeah, there might be a bit more of this dark stuff to place. It looks really weird, but it's just an experiment more than anything, isn't it? A Baby Orca says, do you watch Formula 1 that started back up this weekend? I do not watch Formula 1. I mean, sometimes I see it on Sundays, but I don't... It interests me very little. I don't know why. It's just kind of like car goes round, still going round. I don't know. I get there's more to it than that, but it doesn't really entertain me much. I've never been big into cars at all, really, so that doesn't help. Alright, now let's get back to the other thing. Oh yeah, now we get to place that in, actually. So, see what's going on right here. So that's the very middle. I go directly up. Yeah, it attaches there. And that makes, I think, that the block where it's supposed to be. One above, right? So why is it that the other side feels so much brighter over here? It's probably something like this. Or maybe there's light coming up from below. That's the point, actually. There's a big space there for light to come up. Where's my other deep slate? There it is. Very good. See, what I haven't done before is just put the deep slate like back into this corner, so why don't we try that? Yeah, and then we'll have the spruce kind of come across. Put you there. You want to do it in a way where you don't get like too many sharp angles and stuff, right? It's a bit tricky to figure out sometimes where to go with it. Right, let's get more of that deep slate in place. I think I want to put some candles right there. Just because I can. Flint and steel, light them up. We got noises. We got that Sparks here for 3 months. Mr. Normie here with a Prime. Purple Gallium here for 2 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. I should have done a gift card last season. That would have fit so well into all the Evil Xisuma derp coin stuff, right? X, have you made any progress on the server render distance improvements? I know you were dabbling with it last season. Well, we had something that really helped, but the way they changed the game works mean you can't have dynamic render distance anymore, so just sort of stuck with what we got now. Ecto Moog says, thoughts on the Batman, X? I think that the Batman is a movie, and that it's possibly still in cinemas now? God. Oh, the Batman. The Batman. The story about the man who's also a bat. Completely fresh, new and original, never seen before. I don't know what to say, I've got no interest. It's still in cinemas, yes. I probably won't go see it. All the superhero jazz just don't really do it for me. And the Batman's, you know, like, what was it, the Dark Knight trilogy, that stuff was fantastic, but after seeing that story just told so many times over and over again, it just, I just lost interest. Right, so I think it's about time that we chose a material to go in the middle, which I really do think should probably be maybe deep slate bricks. Put deep slate bricks in the middle. Then we need to come around and start changing what's underneath the redstone. That might be bricks again. And then that will really get us in good shape for the last little part of the project. I feel like I'll put some candles high up. Just so there's definitely some variety here and there. Okay, it looks like we need a bunch of birch slabbies over here. Slabby jab jabs. Deadpool Best Pool, says Mujuk Cell. That was a movie. That was one of the Marvel ones that I watched. I didn't really like it. I watched another movie last night that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I like long movies, if they're good. And there's this one called The Red Thin Line, and it's one of those ones that gets talked about in relation to how every now and then, or at least in the 90s and noughties, like Hollywood would sort of get like 2 similar movies out the same year. And I've heard several theories on it, but sometimes they reckon that like scripts get passed around, a movie gets scooped up, and then another studio will try and make a sort of a movie to compete with it. So I think it's one that competes with Saving Private Ryan, which is out the same year. That's a Tom Hanks movie. And let me have a sip of this tea. Yeah, so it came out the same year, and it's got a lot of names in it, a lot of names. And it's a long movie, like 2 hours 50 minutes. And you know what? I don't think it was that great of a movie, really. It was trying to be very poetic about war, and its action sequences were really good, and like in those moments where things were hectic and fast, it's a terrific movie. But around it, it feels like it fails to really build arcs for its characters, and sort of rests a bit too much on like ambience and poetry. There's a lot of like talking poetry passes with like images in the background where not much is happening. I don't know, it felt like it didn't quite land, but something that it does is have a lot of big names in it, like George Clooney and John Travolta were two names that I felt like their appearances were kind of a bit flawed, really. Like they had such small roles that it kind of showed you that they were trying to pack in a lot of names into the movie. And so yeah, there's like some big names that really take on small roles in the movie, and a lot of the characters aren't really fleshed out with arcs, and yeah, the whole thing was sort of the action stuff was good. Sean Penn was in it too. Yes, he played a main role though. Jared Leto was also in it, a very young Jared Leto. And Penn was brilliant in it, but he had more of a fleshed out character than a lot of the others. There's like two characters that have a bit more of a story, and the rest of them are not so much. And it got its action bits really good for World War II in the Pacific Arena kind of movie, but didn't really make up for the rest of it. And I see your chat, Yola, talking about all the movies that you've watched. Lots of names of movies. Because I'm a movie buff, I've seen quite a few of them. I feel like actually what I probably want to do around here is have the oak kind of wrap round a little bit now. Let's have it come into this space. And then it's going to meet up with the spruce, a wood, which I do not have a lot of. Okay, so that's then the wall there. We've pretty much got this done, I think. Like if I leave it like that for now, and we take a step back, like the whole area. Okay, it is looking good. What doesn't feel right is having a bunch of those blocks there. They're obviously not supposed to be there. This torch needs to go. So this thing here in the middle does, I think, detract a fair bit. In all fairness, the vibe has come together pretty well. So we've got a little redstone contraption to build here that I think will barely even be a redstone contraption. We could do a double chest with 2 hoppers, right? There might be a way to use hopper minecarts and get them composting faster. So it could be like a super fast composter. I am a little wary of using too many entities and stuff. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make it to show it and then just switch it back after or something. Rebenta Menis, thank you ever so much for 10 months of support. Greatly appreciated. While I was waffling, Rebel Z Gaming subscribed. Thank you, my dude. Thank you, thank you. Let's take a question, a message from chat. What kind of machine is he building, says Moranox. It creates these materials right here. All of the stuff that grows on fungus from the bone mill. So, we need to look at where the water is going to spill. It's going to knock out a lot of redstone. So I think what I'll do is take back these bits. And we've got to remove them anyway to replace the blocks. So I am just thinking do it one side at a time, but it's so simple. I'm not really going to forget this, right? So we'll remove these parts. The redstone, or the water even, will flow out down here. And I don't think... Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's going to hit this, isn't it? So we'll take that out. I remember this design quite well, so that's cool. Oh yeah, I just remembered something important I need to write down. Cool, did that. This farm was in the latest video. Yeah, that's correct. The latest episode has it. Peepoo says, have you been in a theatre lately? Yeah, I watched Sing 2 in the theatre. That was really good, that movie. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to watch something quite different. X, are you watching any shows at the moment, says Stupid Genius? Yeah, I've got watching the last of The Last Kingdom, because it's the last series. Then maybe I'll watch Picard and see if any of that's good. I really do want to get away from watching these series. Like Better Call Saul's going to be out before long, and that's the last season of that. I think I'm going to like try and stop picking up as many series and start watching documentaries a bit more, like learning stuff. I don't know, it feels like, you know, entertainment is entertainment, but you could also use this time to like be like growing in some way, i.e. passively learning, or you know, there could be just something that watch time could be used that's more beneficial, and I want to figure out what that is. Right, let's break apart this and find out what chaos is about to ensue. While we do it, I think it would be wise to throw up a few torches, as the torches will help us see what... Well, that one's going to get knocked off, isn't it? Help us see what we're doing. And really, it probably doesn't make too much sense to leave it all open. I should be very wise, though, not to accidentally put a block in the wrong spot. I think the levers here might get knocked off too. Yep, so it's flown down here now, that's what I expected, and it's gone into those things either side, that's fine. Bring it down to there. I'm trying to be a bit like super vigilant not to accidentally place it, you know, getting pushed around by water. I don't want to break up the source blocks in there. Uh-huh. It's looking alright, really, isn't it? Did even more calculations, because why not? If I'm a tier 3 sub that watched everything live, X would need to stream 170 years non-stop if we want to get a face reveal. There you go. Yeah, guess what? It's not a real reward. It's a joke. If it isn't obvious. Your stream sucks, says Zenisphere. Oh, thank you, Zenith. Thanks that you're still watching a sucky stream. Yeah. I don't know how you do it. I just tune out whenever I'm watching a sucky stream. I'm like, damn, this stream sucks. God, why am I typing a message in chat right now? That's what I usually do. Sorry, it was a joke. Wasn't a very good one. Fegley says, I'm counting that as X giving advice. Oh. Alright, tune out of a sucky stream. Yeah, like, seriously. What's it called? Like, sunk cost fallacy. Where you're like, oh, I've started watching this thing, I should watch it to the end. Like, if it's not doing it for you, just stop watching. I've done that with, like, movies and TV shows before. It's like, you don't have to commit. If you're like, oh, this is actually, like, not really that good, just move on. Right, so that definitely looks good in this room, doesn't it? So I'm happy with that. But there's still more to be done. Here we go. Herminator, thank you for 37 months of support. Greatly appreciated. We also got Lays24MC here for 4 months. Sora says, what's your opinion on backseat drivers? Look, I've talked about this before. Oops. Those backseat drivers, they should really get in the front seat, okay? I tried driving from the backseat the other day. It was terrible. Crashed into a wall. Couldn't believe it. Whenever I dream about driving, like the driving's always like really manic, and I just had some sort of weird like sense of I was driving in my dream last night, and like something about that was crazy. It just hasn't really come to me yet. I just got that like sense of it, right? Lol, dad joke of the year award goes to X. Gotta love those dad jokes, right? So down here, you really don't actually need to access this space, right? Which makes me wonder if you even should. I think what I'll do is I'll put a scaffold there, you can come down, it'll be a ladder for now, and have a look at everything. Then I don't have to decorate this area, which ultimately it doesn't really need it. So, there's that. Yeah, okay. So like, over here you'd have a ladder. Yeah, definitely don't want to put a block in that space. Okay, we got any ladders lying around? I know I've got some up here. Chat, do you know when we'll be able to get free edition, Bedrock edition of Minecraft, says Manos? I don't think you'll get it for free. I wouldn't count on just getting it for free. Oh, there you go. We need some lighting down here, and we need to fix the redstone. Let's put in some good old symmetric lighting. So everything can be well illuminated. And Trustful says, don't commit crimes, chat. What's this about? Who's committing a crime? Not in my chat, surely not. I told you, don't be committing those crimes in my chat. Oh yeah, I can use this. How many more of those do I need? Like 5 on each side, so 10. I will take 10 of them. There we go. Right, and yes, we've got a few torches probably lying around that need to be punched out. Let's do a little light overlay check. This stuff's super easy now though, like now that it's down to like light level 0, it's really hard not to miss a spot. I mean, we're like deliberately doing moody lighting and it's still easy. Oh, and we got that there. Might want to check that again then. Yeah, look, it's good everywhere. Right, so then the lever can't really be put into a place that looks any better. What I could do actually is put a bit of redstone on top of the piston, funny enough. Which means I would need 2 more. So let's go restore all the other bits of redstone. No. We've got to change those blocks first. But I was thinking like that and that. Yeah, it'll still work. Cool. So then these blocks, I think, we'll use the other deep slate texture that we're yet to use. Which is this one here, the polished one. That's what it's called. I remember. Okay, let's go put those blocks in. X, get a stream something. A stream something? What on earth is that? Mr. X, would you be able to shed some light on the server build you use for Hermitcraft? I'm using paper, but our server is causing some issues with the farms I've been building. We don't use paper, we use fabric. With, phosphor and... what's the other one called? I forget what they're called, but we use those ones from Caffeine MC. Sodium, that's it. Oh yeah, maybe actually it's not phosphor, maybe it's sodium and lithium. Those are the two that we use. Alright, let's make some more of these deep slate blocks. Here we go. Does it look any good? Is a question. I did consider using planks on the floor. But I feel like, nah. I feel like the colour balance in here is pretty good. And I'm not sure if I could do much about that. I guess I could make this tinted glass. That would be a good use case for it. Actually, not only would it look better, the glass itself is like not great for the build palette. So I think there's a shout there to put tinted glass in instead. Let's put the redstone on and test it once more. It's kind of lucky that it works like that, that you can put the repeater over the top of that piston. That only works because of the quasi-connectivity. Apparently I've lost one piece of redstone, which is rather curious. How would I have lost one piece? I don't know. I think I should double check the redstone down below. Oh, it's all there. XP uses a texture pack that makes those polished deep slate tiles look absolutely gorgeous. I think they look pretty good already. I'm not a fan on using resource packs that make the whole place look too different because... Because I think it's important to build in a way that everyone else can see your build the same way you do, but at the same time I do use vanilla tweaks, which gives things here and there a little bit of edge, maybe you could say. Right, so if you look down from there, it does kind of just give it a little more consistency that way. And this is completely unnecessary. And it works! Wonderful. So yeah, tinted glass is required for this room, I think. And now we've got even more of this stuff to sort out. So yeah, as far as a composter goes, we could have a double... I think I can kind of see how it all works in my head. It's going to be pretty big and tall, unfortunately. And we're going to need a whole bunch of hibbity-hoobity hoppers. Some what? Some hibbity-hoobity hoppers? That's right. Tinted glass fits quite good with deep slate. Yes, it would do, wouldn't it? Alright, I think we're done with any wooden materials for building at the moment. That being said, that last bit that we've got to do, I think, is around where there's spruce and dark oak. Hey X, so the reduced green particles for the bone meal effect part of vanilla tweaks? Or is it the base game graphical setting? That's part of vanilla tweaks. I haven't used that one before. Every season I like to just change up the resource pack a little bit so there's some like variety. Helps things just kind of feel like, you know, unique for the season in a way. Yeah, so I need a lot of iron and a lot of hoppers. Just picturing it, it's going to be like chest, hopper, No, it's going to be chest, hopper, minecarts, hoppers. So I probably need rails as well. Actually, I will need rails, but they won't stay on the contraption, I think, is the idea. Could probably use something like iron bars too, actually. It's going to be tricky to set up. Anyway, let's get some hoppers. All my wooden stuff is down below. Perfkey says, hibbity hobbity, your mum is now my property. That sounds like a hip hop rap line or something. X, what are your thoughts on my thoughts, says Stupid Genius. Oh, what are my thoughts on your thoughts? Well, your thoughts are thoughtful. Therefore mine must be too, right? What's your favourite redstone farm to make? I don't know. I don't really have a favourite. I like all the farms. I like farming with redstone. So I need like 4 below the hoppers. Actually, this doesn't... I'm not sure if this even makes much sense. 4 into the composters. It's just gonna be like really excessive to make it a little bit faster. I'll make it anyway. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2 for the hopper minecarts. So we also need 2 hopper minecarts. Right, and we're low on chests again. I think at some point I'm gonna have to set up a tree farming area. Maybe once I get a beacon so that I can plop that down and do this faster. So we have... That's the top bit going into the composters. Then we need another 6 to take them out. And then it will go into a double chest. I think that's correct. The composters I already have crafted up here. 20 glass, reference for later, says TH Aussie. Oh, thanks, my dude. Actually, who's online? I wanted to ask if anyone knew where a geode was. Geode? Is that how you spell that is? Because a couple of times I thought about going off to find a geode, and then I'm like, that could take a long time. And I don't really recall discovering any in a cave system where I could pop back later. I think I would have, like, taken note already. You know, another way to do a fast composter setup might involve creating an array, but not entirely sure. That caving system is the one that I went to the other day, but it might take me a while to get back there. It was a crazy, crazy route in and out. Yeah, needing a path to one is essentially it, right? Oh no! The thing that I wanted to build would be 2 blocks wide, right? This is free. Oh gosh. Golly gosh. I wonder if this could be designed different then. Then again, we're supposed to embrace those kind of differences, so I think what we'll do is we'll pivot and have it go sideways. So let's start with the bottom, which I think is going to need to be pegged down a block. So let's say that's the output. Then you're going to have this for your 4 composters. Yeah, look how tall it gets. You're going to end up like putting the your blocks in like higher up. And if we didn't do it this way, it would just be at that height. I think I'm actually going to bail on my idea of using the hopper minecarts. It just looks like it's going to be a mess more than anything. So we'll pivot and do something different. What we'll do is we'll put a gap in the middle. Oh, I feel like there might be a nice opportunity here to use some sort of block that's going to stand. I think I'm going to use that. So we go to the middle. Over by one, so we'll have 2 chests here. 2 on the other side. We'll still have all of these in place. I'm not sure if you could do anything fun with this either as well. Like, they give off particle effects. I mean, maybe you could put, like, comparators in the hoppers and hook them up to lights, but then they're probably just going to stay on. In fact, down the bottom is probably the place to do it, right? Like, the bone meal doesn't come out as consistently, so you could, like, blink a light, but I find that to be rather uninteresting. The other one would be this, right? So then you come over here after using the farm, chuck in all the goodies. There is a lot of rubbish to put in here. And not all of it is compostable, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I don't actually want to put those in. I don't know how they got in. And there's still a little bit more. So then the bone meal will appear down here. The bone meal could, in theory, just siphon all the way down to wherever those things are, right? But I think I'll do it manually for now. Because otherwise you end up with, like, massive chains of hoppers and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to need to bring back some stone blocks over here, I think. Fill in the space down below. We are no longer using? Okay. And then the space below the chests would be visible. Doing an alright job. You can't really even see the composting in action though. I think it'd be nice if they let you put in the hoppers into the composter from the side, not just the top, but that's the way it is. So, let's go ahead, put that there. It's going to get ripped out. So it looks like we've got these other blocks behind it, which we'll just continue using. Probably down below as well. On the sides. And then here, I think steps would actually be best, wouldn't they? Yeah, we'll put steps in there. Hey, we've got a noise in the air. It's Chapter Cory here for 20 months. Thank you ever so much, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Saying have a great day. Thank you. I think I'm going to have a good day today. Another day on planet Earth. Put chest 1 back in front of the hopper. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I could actually have the chests at this level. Yeah, okay, actually, let's do that. That'll look better, for sure. So we'll put our deep slate tiles there. It's going to be the same on that side. Dang, so many blocks in this game, right? And they've just added a whole bunch more. Those new mud blocks and mangrove blocks, they look super interesting. Like, when they first add those things, it's like, okay, cool. And then your mind starts ticking over about like all the different things that can be done with them. I reckon they're going to lead to some super interesting builds. And you can't really go wrong just adding more building blocks in this game. It's what it's built for. That's one of the things I find like really interesting about Minecraft's continued persistence over the years. It's kind of just related to the fact that all you can just add some new blocks and then it's like everyone wants to play again. It's genius. Ah, look at that. The old asymmetry again, eh? Don't worry about that. So we'll put in an oak slab there, I think. So the bottom's all kind of neatly done, I think. Got to dig out some of this space behind it all now. This project's very nearly done. Right, and where are my stone blocks? Chilling with HC streams are what weekends were made for, says Danny Houghton. Yeah, they're very popular, aren't they? One thing I will say is there isn't going to be one next weekend. Can confirm. I think we might try and aim for like an every other weekend type dealio. Oh yeah, did I changed the bottom. Right, I just never got round to putting those chests up the top here, so that makes sense of that. So we'll keep rolling these into place. Then we need some slabs up the top, and then some wooden slabs too. Let's get the other slabs in place, and then more of those. Actually, maybe not more. I think more. More of the pillar blocks, and more deep slate. Right, let's get this thing finished already. Mary Gershwin, thank you ever so much for 4 months of support. Have a nice Sunday. Greetings from Germany. Thank you. Yeah, Gershwin is the name of a composer that I listen to. Forget the first name. MK O'Brien, 76. Thank you for 9 months. Twitch baby right there. Oh my goodness me. What's that? What is that monstrosity of cuteness on the screen? Oh yeah, and deep slate slabs. Hey, we got Sidon Snez here with the Prime. Thank you, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. We'll put in those ones. So, pillar up here. Put these on. And then... something like that. I'm trapped. Oh, I'm literally trapped. There's no way out. This is literally like a little dead end place. I'll find a way, peeps. I'll find a way. There we go. This has got to lead me somewhere, right? Oof. Oh, and then there's all of that to sort out. Dang. We got a whole mess to sort out here. This area does need some attention, because as you can see there are some spots where mobs could potentially spawn. I think what I'll do is make sure that they have just enough, right? Just enough light level. So over here it's all pretty good. Oh, there's a literal gap into the room there. So that's good for all of that space. I mean, some bit, I don't know actually what's lighting them. It's like I might end up like punching out a torch over there at some point by mistake. I think what I'll do is give the area just a couple of torches like this. Yeah, and then we know for sure. It might mess with how the ceiling looks, having all this light above the blocks too. But that's good for that spot. Round the back here where we just were a moment ago. I think things were alright. Yeah, certainly looks it. Again, we'll put a torch just here. Another one over here. And it will probably take care of itself. Yeah, don't even need them down here. I love the light changes. So good. So, everything behind the scenes is now done. Just you, thank you so much for 4 months of support, my dude. Appreciate it. Well, there's our crafting bench that went missing. It's here. Thank you so much for the support. This thing's still composting away. Dang, it's really dark here. Still don't need to light it up. Ceiling looks weird. I think what I'd like to do is have a soul lantern there. And let's go grab that. This is why we need the gaze, am I right, says Thegley? Having the gaze in your own base would probably be annoying if it started lighting stuff up when you had some of your own aesthetic lighting in place, right? That is very dark and moody, which is cool. Right, so now we gotta tidy up, which is always just terrible. It's always terrible. Start by cleaning up your own inventory. Then figure out where all this stuff goes. One of the problems I have is that the storage area up top isn't even very adequate at this point. Okay, and that would also be in my inventory. But it's ended up looking really cool down here. What do you think of it, peeps? Do you have an opinion? I wanted to do my thumbnail like this because it's like the opposite of the previous one, where the other one was red. This one is going to be like a so. Like a so. Let's get that opened up for later. Right. And Trustful Fool says, yeah, I heard gays too. And I was so confused until I looked at chat. Did I say guys? And it sounded like gays is what you're saying. I try not to use guys. Like, I'm very aware of how gendered talk is, if that's even the right term. So, like, when I'm making my snapshot videos, I try, like, to say, you know, with a villager, the villager, they, them, etc. Because one of the interesting things about Minecraft, especially considering who created it, is that it was deliberately designed at a time where these progressive ideas were nowhere near as prominent. It was deliberately designed that all of the things in the game wouldn't have genders, although maybe with the exception of Steve. So, like, that's why the cows, the pigs, like, there's no male and female. You just breed them together, and Tito Ricardo says, keep politics out of gaming. Well, there's politics, and then there's ideas on how we as people interact with one another and the world around us. All this stuff has been politicized, but in the context that I'm talking about it, I'm not talking about it politically. I'm saying, like, these are ideas that were put into the game, and I like the ideas. Like, it's just more neutral. Like, why does a villager have to be a he or a she? Right? And that's what it is in the game. So, there's this constant, like, thing in my mind where, like, everything in the game is sort of default a he. And I think that's a very, like, just because I'm male, I'm a guy, I just think of it that way. But it's also a very male dominated culture as well. So, like, then you'll hear, like, I don't know, a female streamer calling everyone guys, and, like, that's just the language, right? It's fine, it doesn't mean much, but I do think it's worth looking at and thinking about, like, how we use that, because if you're a woman and all you ever hear is guys this, guys that, you know, you might feel a bit excluded by that. So having more neutral terms, I think, is a cool idea. It's really hard to use them, though. Like, I'm watching back a snapshot video that I've just made, and I'm like, oh, they've added a new mob, and already I'm calling it a he. Like, you know, like with the LA, for example. LA doesn't have a gender. It's just the LA. It's, like, really, really difficult to, like, undo the way that you've been talking for, like, years and years and years. But, you know, for young peeps growing up, for the new generation, they'll hopefully learn a more neutral language. which I think is a positive thing, to be neutral. And then you have French, says Pefkey. Yeah, that's a can of worms right there. Like, what? I don't even know where they get started. Because, yeah, a lot of... Oh, man, I really don't know because I didn't do French or German for very long in school. But the words are gendered right. Guys is generally neutral in our language. It's just some good stuff to think about, says Captain Clark. Yeah, I think, you know, language gets... The way that language is used, it changes over time, its meaning changes, etc. Guys definitely is, like, in the way it's used, not really about guys, right? Like, it's just about whoever's watching. But I personally don't like the sound of it. I don't know, like... I think it's just like too many videos that I've opened up where I immediately realized this is not for me, because it's like, hey guys, welcome back to another video. What's up, bro? Yo, you know, gonna hit that like button, hit the subscribe. We're gonna grow on YouTube, yo. Thank you guys for commenting, blah 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 blah. You know, that's super fast YouTuber hype, talking like to the audience like they're a part of all the hype and stuff. And I don't know, because I heard it so much like that, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You've opened up like a video like that where just some crazy excited young kid is like talking a mile a minute at the camera, calling everyone guys constantly. It's like, it's out there. Like, I'm not judging it. I'm just saying it's not for me. And that's why I don't really like that term too much. I mean, not in a like big deal way, just in a almost pedantic way, I guess. But yeah, reassessing how we use language, I think, is really important and a really good idea. Like, language changes over time, we know this. Meanings of words change, slang becomes so normalized that it becomes the thing that it is. Like, if ever you see someone being, like, a little bit elitist about language, or, like, you know, a new word gets added to the dictionary, and you're like, that's not a real word. It's like, you got to understand that, like, it's all organic to begin with. It's all flexible and constantly changing. So, like, acknowledgement of that allows us to then reflect on it and be like, okay, we can choose to use language differently, and we can choose to think about how our language impacts one another, rather than being authoritative about it or saying that it can't change, like, and treating it as being rigid. Retard was a word in my youth that was completely fine to say, and then it changed over time, and you don't like use that anymore. And I'm not sure, like, I think it's just a case of, like, you have a word for something, and then sometimes it gets, like, used derogatory in a derogatory way. God, I can't even get these words out properly. You know, it gets used in a mean spirit after a while, so then you need a new word, right? Like handicapped, and then I think even that one might be phased out for, like, physically challenged. It'd also help if people would stop just being so darn mean as well, because then we wouldn't have to keep changing the words. But yeah, yeah, language changes. And so, like, embracing the change and being in front of it is a good idea. We got cheers and biddies from Widder Shins saying, the Trill language in Star Trek has pronouns, not differentiating gender, but instead regarding if they have a symbiote or not. So interesting to me. Yeah, that does sound quite interesting. I've not stumbled across that one before. Thank you for that, Widder Shins. Appreciate it, my dude. Like a swastika that used to be a symbol for good. Yeah. Yeah, and like that's not an argument to go, oh, the swastika's good. It's like it provides you with context that, this is once a symbol that has then been used, because, you know, like, symbols are quite big in culture to be used to, like, influence people or to frame their perspectives. So, like, the swastika was repurposed in Nazi Germany to, like, you know, advance that agenda, I guess, and use it as a symbol. And so now it's like it's usually in poor taste to use it, if not just being used for like historical purposes or whatever. You know, educational even, should I say. Right, we need to sleep in this bed. We got to deal with those issues of symbolism, particularly in the US, within the Confederate flag, says Gabas Gaming. Yeah, so this'll take us down a tricky road to talk about, right? But there was a lot of last year or the year before. There's a lot of like discussion around tearing down statues of old Confederate Civil War figures, right? And I heard this point really recently that stuck with me, and I really think it helps explain the thing here, is that when it comes to like history, you both need like education. You need to be able, I don't believe in erasing history. We shouldn't get rid of the past because it's uncomfortable. So when it comes to matters of slavery and civil war, in my mind it's about education. It's about explaining what happened, how we've come on from that, and what we think about it now. But then when it comes to tearing down symbols of that, it's a tricky thing. And not all instances will be the same. But the point that I heard that really stuck with me is that in Nazi Germany, there were lots of statues of Adolf Hitler, right? They're all gone now. And so when you talk about preserving history by keeping a statue there, it's not a simple, straightforward thing. I don't think a lot of people will want to have his statues put back to preserve history, right? So when you have this argument about preserving the history of the Civil War, it comes with context. It comes with a context that, do we now look at this era of time and go, this was not like the right way to behave by today's standards? And so then you have to make a decision about it. Now personally, I can see how some people would look at those statues like they're as bad as someone like Hitler, to that level that you'd want to remove them. And then I think there's also an argument to say, well, we shouldn't tear down everything and hide everything. We need to educate people about the past and what's happened. And so, you know, you want to provide context as well. Maybe these statues could be kept, but also they now have like a plaque attached or some little learning podium where you can go and learn about the context of why we think about this differently now, right? Like, the education is important. Because those ideas of the time are so outdated. I think even to people who defend those things, who have an attachment to history, I don't think they fully realise like how different those people are to the people we are now. Just in many different ways. Like, a lot of things that are just normal to us were being completely alien to people of that generation, and I don't think having such a strong attachment to those things is such a great idea, personally. I you know, like, the Civil War to me would be interesting in a historical perspective, but I wouldn't attach any of my identity to it. It's such a long time ago where people had like completely different value systems, and you know, like, as we move through time, there are things that used to be big problems that just disappear. It's like, you know, people of that era might feel really strongly about something that's completely irrelevant today. Like, when they first introduced the old, what do you call them? Seatbelts. Those things that you should definitely use, right? You know, up come the roars of freedom, the government can't tell me what to do. And today, who's putting on a seatbelt and feeling oppressed? You know, I don't think of freedom as even really being a thing, personally. But like, to think of it in a way of like, no one should tell me what to do, yet not realizing that in society there's so many things baked in where you just go along with it. It's kind of part of what it is. That's the way we exist together. We have responsibility for one another. But yeah, there'll be things from like the Civil War, like, if you can imagine like the gossip of the day and the things that people had opinions about, political or not. Like, there would be plenty of stuff that would probably just be incredibly irrelevant, like, to today. And so, I don't know, I just look at history like it's history. And not something to be so attached to. X, there are people with stickers of no seatbelts, we die like something. So people, those damn... Okay, so yeah, maybe there's a few people that are still flying a flag about not wearing a seatbelt. Just the idea that someone tells you you should do something, and therefore you then have to go, no, freedom, I will not do this, as opposed to go, alright, right, so if I go along with this wearing a seatbelt thing, oh, it protects me and the other people, right, I won't go flying through the windscreen and potentially hit someone else, it'll also potentially save my life, right, that's great. I'm down for, like, laws and rules that keep our behaviour in, you know, better for everyone. Maybe not broadly, it's always, you know, individual and unique, each different circumstance, but like that's part of being in a society. Our actions affect one another, and how can we have those? How can we make better decisions? How can we, you know, do these things? A lot of stuff as well is like, it's things that you kind of like can't understand and see individually, but collectively, in large groups, they manifest differently, you know? Like, I've never been in a car crash, so like, why do I ever have to wear a seatbelt, right? But in that one time where I become a part of a statistic, if I'm wearing that seatbelt, it might save lives. And honestly, like, is a seatbelt uncomfortable? A little bit. It's not a lot to put up with, really, is it? Core Gamer 101 YT, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Appreciate it. Well done keeping politics out of gaming, says Mine the Tiberium. I mean, the thing with politics is just anything can be politicized, right? That's what's the problem with politics is that everything becomes political if you want it to. I'm not really talking about any of this from a political perspective. I'm talking about it from a human perspective, being a person and a part of a society. The politics stuff comes later when, you know, politicians want to use whatever's being discussed to their advantage. Like, you can look at this with pretty much anything that's going on as of late. Is just look at how events happen and then they are folded into a political narrative. Like, and a lot of the time, the politics is responsive. It happens after the thing. You tend not to see a lot of politics go out in front of something. Usually when they do, nothing happens. When someone's sounding the alarm on, I don't know, climate change, not a lot happens. But then when all of a sudden, you know, the weather gets really bad and it gets too hot and we start to go, oh dear, actually this is a proper thing, then it will be, I mean, climate change has already been heavily politicized. This is a terrible point, basically. But I guess for some things though, you'll see the thing will happen and then it will get politicized. Like wearing masks, says Arwen. Yeah, I think in all fairness, masks have been completely politicized. It should have really just stayed as a public health issue. That you can put a bit of cloth in front of your face, and you know, yeah, it might be a bit uncomfortable to breathe, but we reckon, as of right now, based on what we know, that this is going to help the situation. Maybe that'll change as we get more data and whatnot, but it gets politicized. It gets turned into being about something else. It gets turned into being about taking away your rights and all this kind of stuff, instead of just being about how can we respond to this situation. I find it weird to take off masks, says Guy Up. Yeah, transitioning away from using them will probably feel a bit strange. I actually went into the shops the other day, right? Completely forgot to put on my mask even. And usually when I'm in the shops, I tend to like keep an eye on how many people are wearing masks, just to kind of get a feel for like how things are changing. Because I remember when the mandates first came off, it went from everyone wearing masks to like about 50%, like pretty quick. think. Vague memory of that. So that happened, and then now like it's even less. It's like down to like 30% of people, whatever. But this was like I went in there and I didn't even think about it. It was only like the next day that I went, I forgot to wear my mask. And then I was like, I didn't even think about who was wearing a mask. I can't even remember like seeing someone with one on, like, or thinking about it. My head was just totally in a different place, and I just sort of like went in there like normal and got on with it. Which is kind of nice to, like, in a weird way, to think, like I'm not completely like still in that space, right? Like you're starting to get some sense of normality where you just wander into the shops and don't think about it. But yeah, that was the thing. I think I'm going to do this bit over here next. Ollie731, thank you for the Prime subscription. Betty Jetson's here for 9 months. It's a Twitch baby saying, always love to hear your perspective on things. Keep up the good work. Thank you, my dude. Glad you're enjoying the little chat. Also, we got 3,800 peeps tuned in. Be sure to hit that follow button here on the twitch.tv/thexisuma if you want to catch future live streams. I won't be doing one on Thursday. I will be doing one on Tuesday. That's my current schedule, I guess. And that'll just happen after I finish eating and working out and all that stuff. Definitely still wearing masks. The Rona hasn't gone away, says Art Slays. Yeah, it hasn't gone away and it won't go away. We're long past the point of snubbing it out. I think we lost that battle pretty early on. Which is, you know, a bit of a shame, but in my mind it's like, how do we respond to this? Because it's really shown that we have deep divisions in our society and issues where if something worse than Corona came along, this could really hurt us, because you could look at Corona statistically and think, like, this is not that bad, you can say. And that's great, like, if it's not that bad compared to something that could be worse. But, like, look at how we've responded to this. Maybe if it's genuinely worse, we just have a better response. But if we have a response like this to something that's bad in the future, you know, I don't want to know what that looks like. I don't want to know. I've been listening to podcasts about pandemic preparedness and the likelihood of something like coronavirus happening quite some time before it did. There were people trying to sound the alarm, and I used to listen to it thinking, like, this is fascinating. I love learning about, like, how this is all perceived and how it works, but it probably won't really happen. And then, boom, what happens? It happens. So, like, we need to now be like, okay, people were sounding the alarm about this. It's happened. How are we going to deal with this in the future? How are we going to learn from this? It feels like currently there's not a lot of discussion towards that. I don't know. I don't know what's happening up at those big political levels. So are you going to put this in a schedule, says Lucaro? No. I don't schedule it because I don't know what time I'll be ready to stream. Like, and I've experimented with the schedule at different times, and it just, I don't know. I find, like, it's nice to have the schedule. It's great for all of y'all, but immediately I rub up against days where I'm like, I'm not getting this thing done in time. Still got to do that job. I got to stream in an hour. Go on, I'm gonna get this all done. And then it just became like a bit unpleasant, you know, because it's like rushing around, and I don't want to do YouTube like that. So I don't want to do all of this like that. I'm just gonna keep it how it is. Some days will be scheduled when I commit to something like a live stream morning, which works out really well for me. It's very easy for me to, like, get up early and be on top of this. But the other times of the day that I usually stream, I need to be more flexible, really. That's essentially it. Wavy Leaves doesn't work on vanilla tweaks. Oh, you'll probably find that there's probably like a conflict of sorts there. A physics podcast called Physical Attraction did an episode in pandemics in 2017. It's insanely accurate to COVID. I feel like you like that podcast, X, says Lauren Louise. I've probably, you know, listened to much stuff like it, very similar. Like, there was a show on the BBC about pandemics years before COVID happened that, like, almost ghostily predicted the way things went down. People even predicted, you know, concepts of misinformation wreaking havoc and stuff as well. So it's there's a lot of it. There's a fair bit of it that was talked about beforehand, and yeah. I just hope that we learn from it and come out better. But the current political climate in various places doesn't look good for that, does it? They are time travellers, says Noogly. They might be time travellers, or they might be people who spent a lot of time studying the projects. Studying, not the project, but, you know, pandemics, because they've happened before, right? Like, they might just be really well educated and are put in the time to talk about it, you know. Do you know what? I'm just thinking there's another area that needs a bit of work. Where I've put in these contours, it's kind of going to be like quite a smooth area over here. I also really want to talk to Scar about some ideas for decorating all of this. I was thinking about putting in some like bone blocks at some point. Like having like skeletal remains. That sounds like a metal band name if I ever heard one. We are skeletal remains. I mean, I don't have a metal voice in which to say that in, but I can picture it now. Right, I love that band name, says Firecracker. Pay me royalties then! Skeletal Remains. That is actually a really great name for a band, isn't it? Like, I love coming up with bad band names, but that one's on the good side, I think. Right, I wanted that. Didn't I want something else as well? In my mind, I'm like, I need to pick up this thing and that thing. I don't know what the other thing was. Ghostkeeper says where I can send you the royalties. Send me some biddies. I wish they would come out with more mossy infused blocks. You just reminded me of the other block that I wanted. Yeah, as for mossy infused blocks, you remind me of something. So, back in the day, I always used to say it'd be really cool if the dyes could just be right-clicked on a block and it would tint the block. And then when you break it, it drops the block and the dye. And then you would just get so much more out of all of these textures. But like, what if you clicked a regular block with moss and it combined to create a mossy combo of that? That'd be a really interesting approach to a block building game, to give you like combos that don't mean filling up your inventory with tons of stuff, right? You know what I'm not seeing here? I'm not seeing any gravel, so I'm gonna head down and get some. And that is where I want to go, and that is where we are. Oh yeah, that's the hole of the moss. The moss hole. The mossel. Oh god, this is gonna get me in a tricky situation. Ghostkeeper1 is here for the nation saying, advance on your royalties. Kidding, just love your content. Oh, thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. Thanks for the dono. It's a great name, isn't it? Skeletal Remains. Dang. It sounds so metal. Right, I kind of thought I would just wander around for a little bit and find a gravel patch. I do actually need iron, so why not? I'm actually going to build an iron farm pretty soon. I've been working on a design with Logical Geek Boy. And, God, I'm just terrible at using Light Matica. I was trying to send him a schematic of it, and it wasn't working. Oh yeah, and I was like, it wasn't working because I didn't have Daylight Cycle on in my test world, and I'm just like, oh, so many things to remember in this game. Yeah, I think actually maybe the gravel patches are further down in the world. When I go when I go like branch mining or mole mining, as I like to call it, always bumping into gravel patches. Also, diamonds are like way more common these days. Like, I reckon you get about a diamond a minute of mining, is what it feels like. Because every time I've gone mole mining this season, it's just been like, you'll find your first diamonds in about 3 minutes. Yeah, there's not even any down at that level. Maybe we should just go down to the bottom of the world, into the mole mines, right? Feel like I'm not getting enough done now. We actually got plenty of time, so I'm fine with this now. I was hoping maybe I'd fumble into a geode too. You know what? There's some really big caves lower down, and the bigger the cave, the larger the exposure for something. So down at this level. Did they change the diamond generation? Are you playing 1.18.2? Yeah, diamond generation has changed completely in this update. It's a similar experience to what it was before, but I feel like you don't get as much diamonds caving. You tend to get them from branch mining now, is what it feels like. There's another big gravel patch right there. Oh, it's probably part of all this. I see. I must have a bad seed. I found maybe 5 diamonds this eternity. I don't think it's like that. I think the problem is that like you have to put in a bit of time, and if you don't, I mean, first of all, you've got to mine at the right level, right? But like, if you don't put in a bit of time, if you don't have like the right attitude, this probably sounds really strange, but think about it. Like, if you're not in the mood to mine for diamonds or to just do something grindy, it's gonna feel slower. So, you know, you have to put in the time. But honestly, every time I've gone mining for diamonds, I've probably not put in more than like half an hour and got tons. Like, just mine at the right level and you'll get plenty. Right, that'll do. That being said, look, there's more. So I'll grab it like a rabbit. Diming for miners, brilliant. Did I actually say that? I thought I corrected myself as I started to say that. Diming for miners. Yeah, such an X thing to say, isn't it? Oh, that'll have to do because the inventory's getting all tapped out. Where are we going? Up here? Back there? But there's a little bit more as well. Diamonds are worthless now with villagers. Only exceptions are jukebox and diamond blocks, which you can't buy. Villagers massively degraded the value of diamonds. There is no doubt about it. So did mending, though. Okay, you can't just solely blame the villagers. There's mending too. Yeah, that was the other block that I wanted to grab some of. Make a bit more too. Is it night? It's night time. Need to sleep in a bed. And there are normally other peeps online. Dang, everyone's AFK. There's a zombie somewhere. It did always surprise me. Many people did not go into their strip mines to gather gravel, says Sorrel Soul. Yeah, it's one of those materials you don't think you're going there to gather, but like when I was doing it the other day, I gathered up some at the same time. You just need to think ahead. It's like, what do I also get? You know you get all the other ores, but you don't think of like, oh, I'll get some gravel as well. Mr. Boko says that's why netherite was introduced, but once again, once you upgrade, you never need it anymore. I don't think it was introduced to change the value of diamonds, more so to just add another tier of tool. Probably to encourage players to go into the nether more, I think. But I don't think a lot of people that play casually like really go for that stuff. Joel Kib, thank you for 76 months. Greatly appreciated. That's an Evil X right there. An Evil X. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it. Incredible. 76. The day will come when someone hits 100 and then I'm going to be like, whoa, okay, step back. Time to think. What does this mean? What does it all mean? Give me a few months, says Joel Kip. Yep, that's what it'll take. That's what it'll take. See, I don't really want to like cover up too much of this area. Should really use that shovel. But I gotta sort of match the contours a bit here. Evil X cut off early again, Xisuma, says Hydraulics. I don't know if this is a ploy to make me press the button again. See, I don't know exactly how long the stream delay is. And I don't know why it would cut off early. That one didn't. It's just Stream Deck, I guess. Right, and then we'll make all of that bit at this level. In YouTube, I save all videos of the Hermitcraft in the Hermits in a playlist, and I have now 74 videos from the beginning of the new season. Wow, 74 videos so far. Fascinating. So yeah, the thing is, I kind of want to keep like a lot of the stone down at this level, so you can actually see the bottom of the building. Is sort of my thought process. So I think we're going to have to use these contours to the side here to help us a little. Oh, I guess we start off like that, don't we? That's what I forget. It's not going to be much of a dip down here. But at least a little something. Okay, so all of that's going to kind of want to be around that sort of height, I think. Oh, do you know what we didn't talk about yet that we always talk about, chat? Oh, that happened yesterday. Come on, you know what it is. You know me by now. If y'all don't know me, I'm going to cry. I'll cry on stream, I tell ya. Immediately everyone's on it. Everyone's on it. Yeah, I had a curry. I had a massive curry. Right, and here's what I'm going to do, okay? Over the next week, I'm going to have 4 curries, takeaway curries. Like, I'll probably make some of my own in between. I'm just going to do it. Like, I have my one a week, and I always want more. I'm just going to do it this week. I'm just going to be like, sod it. Today is curry takeaway week. Anyway, I ordered a Bombay aloo, which I haven't actually had before. I always thought Bombay was super hot, but I was just in a mood to experiment. So I had a Bombay aloo, which is like potatoes with like spicy herby sauce around it. I don't know quite how to describe it. It's not tomato. It's anyway. Wasn't that hot, but I had a patilla, which I have not had before, which is similar to a dansak. It's a sweet and sour, but it says like it's made with tomato puree or whatever. So that was super tasty. Do you prefer dry, creamy, or tomato-based curries? I like all of them. I can't get enough. So I had that. Boona for me tonight, says Tuxaban. I've tried a Boona. Here's the other thing, right? Like, with all the different curry houses, you really got to keep track of like which ones you tried. I should start a curry journal, because some places don't do some dishes as good as others, right? And the Boona that I had was not that great. It was a bit more of a watery one, but it could have been because of where I ordered it from. Anyway, I had this thing that my mate had the other day, a lamb schlishk or something like that it's called, which was pretty nice. What was the other thing I had? I had a Peshwari naan. I don't usually have bread, but I just went solid. Had a Peshwari naan. I'm sure there was like one other thing. Oh yeah, and I had some paneer, like cooked in tikka curry flavour. So that was pretty dope. Really enjoyed it. Oh, was this a curry journal? Next level. Yeah, well, I've got like a leaflet for one place where I took note of all the things that I'd ordered, so I could like each time I ordered, I'd know if I could try something new or not, because I had a little note next to it. But I never really like checked if I enjoyed it much or not, or anything like that. So I think I might do that next. Like maybe keep some more notes on which ones are good or not. But I'm feeling quite like adventurous. I think each time I order, I'm just gonna like order stuff that I haven't ordered before and go for it. I might even try like a vindaloo at some point. Like people say vindaloo's really hot, and patia and dansak are listed below like the vindaloo levels. So maybe one day I'll give that a try. I don't know. I'm not especially a fan of hot food for hot's sake. I like the taste, and if it's hot as well, that's good. Paneer is amazing. I love sag paneer, pear with spinach. Yeah, I make some homemade sag paneer from time to time. It's really nice cheese. It's very sort of actually flavourless and mild. It's about how you cook it with other stuff that's good. Right, I like that. I think I might leave it. Actually, let's get this bit. A bit of this over here taken care of too. Like, at least into that space, right? We'll keep going. I'd eat more Indian takeaway if it weren't so expensive, but Greek is still the best. It is pricey, but if you look around, there are places that aren't. Like, there's this one place I ordered from, which is like close to half the price of all the others. I don't know why it's so cheap. Aloo gobi is amazing. It's an amazing side. I don't think I've tried Sagaloo, Bombay aloo. I don't think I've done aloo gobi, so I'll give that one a go. In India, you get the same dish for 50p. Yeah. I mean, that's just like economics and geography, right? Like, that's how it works. The thing is, though, like the average wage would be higher here than it would be there. So they're definitely cheaper, but like things are relative too. Are you going to incorporate other blocks like wasteland, like andesite into the wastelands? Yeah, I already have done a little bit, but when I just put in like the basics, like we're doing right now, I just focus on getting it all in first, I guess, and then come back to the other stuff a bit later, I think. Right, we need to go craft some stairs. Oh, here we go. How convenient. Probably more than that. All you guys having fancy stuff for takeout, I literally buy just a cheeseburger, says Pip, Nip, Stips. Branch out, experiment, you know, try different things. And just keep in mind, you know, it might not work out, but it's just one meal or whatever. Like, one of the things about choosing things sort of like outside what you know is that you often can be a bit fearful of disappointment, but like, still worth a try. Just keep that in mind. That's a good thing for many things in life, is just expectations lead to disappointment, right? So if you're like, okay, forget the expectations, just try something, then you know it'll work out. Picky kids means don't get to experiment much here. I've tried and they didn't like what we got to, says Chris Iris. Kids can be super fussy with food. Yeah, it's a shame, really. You want to, I used to be a bit fussy with food here and there when I was younger, and then after a while I just kind of realised it's all food. Mushrooms, I never used to touch mushrooms, and now I'll happily eat a whole bunch of them. In fact, I cooked a curry last week with mushrooms in it. It was gorgeous. I still not particularly fond of mushrooms, like they're the favourite bit, but there's nothing wrong cooking with them. Cooking for your kids is not fun, says El Udo. Well, I haven't raised a kid, and kids are not for me. I've said that before. I don't think I want to be a parent. But like, you can imagine, like, oh, I'd treat it like this, I'd treat it like that. But having been around kids a fair bit, like, it's all right having ideas of you know, I'll convince them to eat this food or that food, but no, they are incredibly fussy. Like never, says Hype Geek. Yeah, never. I know it's not. I just know it's not for me. I've always sort of known it. Just I don't know. I don't know how to explain why. I just kind of know it's just, yeah, pretty hard to put into words. But Becca says I hate children. Oh no, don't hate children. I mean, children are wonderful. I don't hate children. They're little young people. We were all them once, right? Children are great. There's nothing wrong with children. Just I just don't want to. I don't know. I just can't. I really can't express it. It's just like, it's just the way I feel. Like, and that's just not for me. I guess like a lot of people, like whenever other people talk about it, I always find it super interesting. Like, you know, maybe you listen to a podcast, or maybe even just talking to friends, and it's like they always known they're going to be a dad or a mother at some point or whatever, right? Like that's just. I just don't have that. It's just not there. Like I do not have like some innate desire to be a parent. So I think I just look at it differently because of that. Nordicaean, thank you ever so much for 10 months. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. People do get a bit judgmental when you say you don't want to have kids. Honestly, I feel the same way as you do. I don't see myself having kids, says Mystic Beans. Yeah, it's perfectly fine if you don't want to. And yeah, some people get judgmental, but like, again, like I'm saying, like, people express always knowing, and it makes total sense. Like, it's how, you know, it's like baked into our genetics that we want to have children and stuff, so that society keeps going. It makes total sense, like, that people could be a bit judgy, but usually it's like they just don't understand it. I can understand why, because everyone does, right? But like, as someone who doesn't want to, it's just the way I feel. It's the same way that other people feel about it, right? You just have a feeling about it, and that's it. Badger says, I adore my nieces and nephews, but I have to agree with X, just having children just isn't for me. Yeah, I'm in the same sort of boat, you know. Love spending time with kids, but like, I can't do it myself. And there ain't anything wrong with that. It's just, you know, just how I feel. And as you can see in chat, there are quite a few other people, you know, saying that. Before 30s, I was also afraid of having kids. Today I'm 43 and I have a father of 6. Yeah, I am not afraid of having a kid. I just don't want one. Like, it's not a fear thing. Like, I think you made an assumption there. It's not a fear thing. Like, I just know it's not for me. Maybe if I then became a parent, I would then be able to explain the difference. But otherwise, I can't. It's just like, I just don't feel it. Like, I also think it might have something to do with being a part of, like, society as it is today. If you go back through history, I reckon the desire to have kids is very different based on what period in history you're in, right? As we have a more technological age with different sort of things in terms of living standards, entertainment, like, your priorities become different. Like, life is probably more indulgent for more people now. It can be more about your artistic expression than it is about pure survival and whatnot. So, you know, maybe factors like that play in. Each to their own. I think there should be no judgment whatsoever on others' life choices as mummies. Yeah, there shouldn't be judgment, and if anything, we should like strive to understand. Just you know, like try and learn from one another as opposed to pass judgment and stuff. Yeah, in most places, you don't need your own kids anymore to care for when you're older. You don't need your own kid. Oh, right. So you're suggesting that the survival mechanism is that... I think the survival mechanism of reproducing is to keep the race going, regardless of what health you're in when you're older. But yeah, there's a component of, like, your children will look after you when you're older. But that's also currently somewhat of a wealth thing, because it's costly. So, for example, in my family, we look after our grandparents. They're not in a home, right? But, like, some people don't do it that way, and they have care homes and whatnot. So, it's not only... I can hear the bees popping in my ear. It's not just a fact of, like, we can care for elderly people differently now, but, like, that also costs money. So, like, it's a wealth thing as well. So, like, what class are you a part of? Like, might have different sort of aspects to it. Hey, we've got a noise in the ear. It's Kazzy420 here with the Prime. Thank you ever so much, Kazzy. Appreciate it. Everything costing money now, says Pepin Strips. Well, I mean, everything costs money, right? But, like, before there was money, things didn't cost money. So, I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. That's what I'm saying. Am I out of stone? I need to go get some stone. This area back here, I don't really have to mess around with too much. What's annoying is that I thought that looked really cool, and it's just, like, parked into this corner. It's kind of silly. I think it's also partly the way young people view the state of our world. I don't particularly want children. It really could be that as well. There's definitely a lot of doom and gloom. And I do worry, because when I see younger generations expressing doom and gloom about their future, I do worry that the idea itself can propagate to create that perception of the future, as opposed to seeing positives and things that could be good. Because I personally think there is a lot to marvel at in our world and our society, and it also comes alongside a lot of bad things. I think that the news can focus your energy on a bunch of negative things happening in the world, where they're actually in a balance with positive things happening too, and the positivity doesn't have the same persuasive power to engage us. And this is something that I talk about with we've talked about things like, I don't know, like, let's say, like, money or, like, losing weight, and I see a language of, like, it's not possible, it's beyond my control, and I worry about, like, people not realizing, or sorry, having a language, a perspective that actually, you know, makes what they're saying come true, right? Like, there's a lot of, like, sentiment towards how expensive things are in this day and age, and how difficult it is to save up for a house, for example, right? And I'm not gonna say that it isn't, and it's not. Housing pricing seems utterly ludicrous, but it's also paired with the way people treat money and use it, your own personal finances, and I just see a lot of, like, I guess, like, unhelpful behaviour with, like, spending habits and not learning to save and things like this. And so, you know, let's say you're reading a thread online and someone's like, oh, you know, the system's rigged, I can't, you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a house, I have zero money every month. And it's like, that might be true. You might be doing every little thing that you can to you know, to like get to a better place. But I worry that the defeatist attitude itself can sometimes be in place where there's actually ways out. There's actually things you can do with your time and effort. But if you're telling yourself you can't, then you're making that come true, if that makes sense, right? So, you know, reading a thread about like, oh, like anti-work or one of those Reddit things. I don't know why I go on Reddit so much. I just seem to go on there and just like disagree with everything. But let's say someone's saying that, you know, I'm never going to afford a house, this is rubbish and stuff. Like, I don't know what their life looks like. I don't know if they're saving every penny they can. I also see pushback against like the idea of saving every penny and stuff. And it's just something that you got to hang on.
Hello, Xisuma?
Oh.
Hello?
Heyo.
Hello.
How's it going?
I have helped myself for a bit of kelp.
Oh. Oh, from the kelp farm.
I didn't understand it, so I chopped them inside it. I was swimming.
Oh, okay, that's fine, because there's a bunch of redstone stuff I'm halfway through building at the moment.
Yeah, it's a clicking dropper.
Oh yeah, that's there, that's annoying, I haven't fixed that yet.
I put a diamond in the double chest you have.
Oh,
there,
no need, you
payment.
can just take it, like, yeah. If you
no,
need
I
more...
want to pay, I want to be I had 13 diamonds, that's unlucky, so now I have 12, it's better.
Oh. I like the number 13 myself, okay. Yeah, if ever you need some, just go in there and take it, but yeah, avoid the redstone at the moment, we're halfway through...
Of course, yes.
Doing stuff. Oh, you're holding a torch?
Mm-hmm.
I have dynamic lighting mod, you just lit up and it was like, whoa.
Yeah, me too. That's why I don't place down torches when I strip mine.
Ah.
You just hold one.
Yeah, I've been doing that too, actually. It's super easy. Cool.
Yep.
Right, I'm in the middle of the stream,
thank
dude.
you.
I was waffling.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers, man. There we go. What was I saying? I really wanted to finish that thought. It was something to do with saving up for a house. Yeah. So, like, the way that you spend money, I've talked about it many times. Just things like, you know, you might be a person who sees, oh look, you know, 2 for 1 on this thing, I'll buy it. That's good, that's a good bargain. But maybe never ask the question, did I actually need this? Like, you go into the shop to buy, you know, 1 item and you walk out with 10. Like, what if you're that sort of person, you're not realizing that that behavior is holding you back where you want to go financially? So that's what I worry about. I worry about, like, hey, there's this doom and gloom attitude that is definitely based on, like, reality. It's not all hocus pocus, but like, you know, what if you could actually be making the changes you needed to? Like, it's just, that's what worries me. It worries me a bit. Who knows? Xisuma, a lot of you UKers don't have student debt though. Also, living in a high cost of living area makes it hard, says Mr. Burns. Yeah, and again, like, what I'm saying is, you could be 100% right, and there is definitely that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I totally get it. What I worry about is that if you're given that idea, and it doesn't fully apply to you, you could be making, like, big mistakes of how you spend money. Like I just described, you know, you just sort of, like, in out, you don't budget, you just buy stuff on a whim, impulsive buying, taking up so-called bargains when you end up buying stuff that you know, 2 minutes ago didn't even know you wanted, right? I used to do it myself. We used to, like, back when I would have my first job, just as soon as that paycheck got in there, it was just, oh, what can I spend it on? And I would go online and shop for stuff, right? And then we'd be out and about going to the shops, and I'd just, like, peruse and, you know, buy more stuff than I needed to or whatever. Like, that really held me back. I never saved anything. It was when I lost my job that I got my final paycheck, and the second I saw it, like, everything clicked in my head. I just looked at it and I thought, there's no more coming in. And I didn't go out and spend it. I just immediately realised I had to change everything I was doing. So I didn't. From that point on, I started saving, and then I started to be more frugal with my money and start to think, oh, like, you know, I don't know when I'm next going to work, so I can't do this thing, I can't do that thing, and then I'd start to realise, oh, I normally go out and spend money on this, or we go out drinking, or like whatever it was, and seeing all these ways in which money just kept like flowing out of my pocket, and then I started to like wise up a bit and save and budget, etc. And that ended up with me actually being able to afford my own house, which was something when I was younger I completely was convinced I'd never be able to do that. No way I could afford a house, right? And I'm talking like a long time ago when housing prices were probably less than half they are now, and I had that attitude, right? So like the attitude wasn't correct in terms to reality. The reality was I could actually save up and afford a deposit. I just had terrible spending habits. And you got to take that bit of control if you want to get there. So all this like doom and gloom of like this generation will never afford houses, it's absolutely true that the housing situation is like ridiculous. But at the same time, if you then tell yourself you can't, it's more likely not to happen, right? More likely not to happen. And that's true for many things. If you're out there telling yourself you can't do something, it's more likely to manifest that way. Excuse me. Deep belly burp, that. Opinions on all the new build houses being built for massive years ago. For what? Wait. For massive profit rather than to help new buyers, says Force Fitting. Yeah, we need some sort of like government intervention for housing scheming and to come in and replace stuff. But you know how it is, like, it's capitalism. Money makes the world go round and the crumbs get kicked down from the table, essentially. It's a difficult thing. I don't know how to solve it. I've got no experience with that kind of stuff, right? We should put a couple of torches down here, just because we've got this weird underground crater area forming. And we don't want mobs spawning down here. Yeah, as you can see, I've been working on that a little bit. It's slowly coming together. Perhaps go check on Impulse. He might have died. No, he's online. He's online. He's not AFK. I've saved up about a year's amount of income saving for condo apartment. That money might sound a lot, but it's not that much. As not from that rich a country, says Aku. Yeah. Like, again, everything I'm saying is not to like judge anyone or to say that no, you got it wrong, you can afford. It's just to put it in the context of like your behavior. Like, it may actually be possible to you, but knowing that there is a problem, because there is a problem, right, may just limit you, may just hold you back. Again, like when I had my first job, before I'd never thought be able to afford a house. Yada yada yada. Lost my job, and then looked at the money and realised I have to hold on to this now. Like, if I want to do things, I need to save this money. So it kind of changed from that point on. I wonder if XP started yet, because we're kind of good here. Change your skin to Iskall's temporarily and follow him about. That's a great idea for a live stream trial, I think. Ignorance is bliss, says Cheese Crust. Maybe. Oh, there you go. XP's actually started. I think I'll raid him now then. I think we're good to go. So that is going to be the stream. I'm not sure if I read the last noise in the ear. El Udo, thank you ever so much for the prime. Greatly appreciated. I'll be streaming again Tuesday evening, peeps, if you want to hit the follow button. Otherwise, right now we're going to go and raid Mr. XB Crafted, who has just started, and he's the next up on the live stream day. So a big thanks to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated and cheered. Thanks to all my mods. Thanks to all the peeps gifting subs and the Patreons. Y'all are appreciated. And yeah, I guess that's it. You can hit the raid button now, peeps. Take care. Bye-bye.